Okay, this is part A of my full body 3-day program. We're obviously going to be starting off with squats, as we always do on a good novice program. Squats are the foundation of training, obviously. Let's not discredit them. They are obviously like the most boring thing ever. We all know they're boring, come on. But they work. They work objectively. They work really well. We're doing 3 sets of 5 with that. And I'm trying to fix up my depth very unsuccessfully, thinking of changing it to pause squats, but we're not sure. As we do in all good novice programs, linear progression. I like to do this in the way that Jason Blaha tells you to do in his Ice Cream Fitness 2.0 program, where you grab a 1 rep max calculator, you grab your 8 rep max, and you do that for 3 sets of 5. Not a fan of the guy? He sometimes has some pretty good information. His way of doing novice linear progression is honestly amazing. I prefer it compared to the majority of people's. The low bar squat is king. I like to do low bar. I prefer it to high bar. I don't know, high bar just kind of hurts my traps. I might switch to high bar because I am getting a few issues with low bar, but I do prefer low bar. Yeah, just a personal preference thing. No difference in gains. It really doesn't matter. Just do what you want to do, as long as you don't constantly switch them and just pussy about in your training. One thing that I do with my linear progression is I'm only adding weight twice a week. The other day is a middle period. So it'll be 2 sessions where I'm adding weight, and then 1 session where I'm staying at the same weight. Sometimes I'll add weight on the first set. Sometimes I'll just add weight fully all 3 days of the week. But essentially what I was getting at there is I decided that instead of going down 2.5 kilos, I would try to go for the 100 kilos for 3 sets of 5, and I ended up hitting it, albeit a little sketchy. On squats, I tend to accidentally go a little too deep instead of too shallow when I'm cheating, because my body hates the hole and wants to get a stretch reflex. And we are on to every bro's favourite lift, the bench press. I just got a new bench, one from Bells of Steel. It adjusts to all sorts of angles and is genuinely amazing. I've needed to get a new bench for the longest time, but it seemed to throw off my form somehow, where I'm only getting 4 reps for each of my 3 sets, and they're all to failure. Of course, I had to push them because I wanted to get the 5, but sometimes it doesn't work well. This bench has been such a lifesaver, and I've only used it 1 time. This one workout is the only time I've used it ever. Honestly, the level of exercise variation I'm able to do having an adjustable bench is incredible compared to what I had before. As for progression, I like to add the same amount of weight over the same period as Jason Blaha said to do in his novice program. One of the best things to come from the guy, his novice program. But I like to add weight every second session, meaning you will do 3 sets of 5 with 60 kilos or 135 pounds for 2 sessions, and then you will go up to 62.5 or 140 pounds. As for the next session, you need to make sure to add leg drive, make sure you're arching. Again, try and stretch your pecs on a wall without arching your back. It won't work. Arching your back stretches your pecs more. You want to pause on your chest. It doesn't make the movement easier. It makes it harder. You remove your stretch reflex. Now for pin good mornings. I'm not sure about this movement. It definitely works. My hamstrings get really sore, but I feel a bad feeling in my low back, like it's bending through the range of motion, which, I don't know if you know this, isn't exactly good. So I'm thinking of switching it to stiff-legged deadlifts off of the floor, but I'm not sure because I'm lifting off of concrete and I don't want my floor to break. As for progression, I'm not actually sure what I'm doing about that right now. I do 45 for 6 on my second set and 35 for 10 on my first, and I ended up skipping out on the third set because my back was bad. But progression on this lift is pretty simple. Do linear progression until it feels unsafe to, and then push relatively hard. The pins allow you to feel safe, but on my squat rack, it's kind of hard to set them to the right height. Trust me, the pins will catch the weight. If you fail, you'll be fine. Just let the weight get pushed up, as long as your form's decent. I'm supersetting this with dumbbell Y raises and T raises, just like Bold Omni-Man says to do. I'm doing this for very, very high reps and not controlling the negative very well, which is admittedly pretty bad. So what I'm going to do next session is control the weight better. Something that I've realized about dynamic double progression, which I believe is where you have a rep range, but I'd need to do a bit more research on that, is it just takes patience. You need to accept that progression can come in the place of form, where if you're doing the same amount of reps for a little more control, you did a better job. You improved. You got stronger, which is the aim of training. Also, on a movement like this, it's not about the weight you move, it's about providing stimulus to the muscle. I went up to 42.5 on the good morning, and it didn't feel particularly good. It wasn't particularly controlled, as you just saw then. Very quick on the negative, but it worked really well and my back was rounding right there. So on the third set I ended up skipping it, and I'm going to replace that with a different hinge. As you can see, I start controlling the weight a bunch more once I realize that I kind of need to. You'll probably see that my back rounds a bit when I'm going up on the last rep. I also sorta squat it. Now I'm doing my second set of Y raises with T raises. These are great because they hit the entire trap complex and fatigue you before doing your rows. They also pump the shit out of your delts, ready for the pump check after the workout. You gotta train to failure on your isolations, guys. Please, trust me. Isolations don't fatigue you very much. They're easy to train to failure. I am completely unfazed by this. You go from your Y raises into your rear delt flies and they pump up your shoulders. Really, really good combination from Bold Omni, man. Thank you so much, Paris Butler. I really don't have anything to say about this lift, so I'm gonna just skip to the rows. Right now, I'm doing chest-supported rows with a barbell off of the floor with 60 kilos. Turns out I'm pretty strong on this. I can do a lot of reps. Also, did I mention how crazy of a recommendation this was? Bro, you have no idea how good of a row variation this is. It cuts off the top of the range of motion, which is the hardest point, and you get a really, really good squeeze on the traps. You actually feel it, even though it's at a slight incline, so it would be technically hitting the upper traps more. You'd be surprised how well it hits every other part of the trap. Like, I genuinely had a good pump through the whole traps, which I've never really had before on rows, and especially, I could actually feel the low traps on this row. I'm trying to pause at the very top. Like Bold Omni-Man said, I watch a lot of fitness YouTube guys. I don't know if I'm savable or not, but it'll probably never change. I just did 3 sets to failure to scout out how much I like this movement, how it feels, its general everything. And I really liked what I saw. I really liked what I felt. I really liked its general everything. Really, really good movement. Could not recommend it more. So as for the progression system, as we can probably assume, dynamic double progression is the way to go. Obviously, some people can do linear progression on rows, not many. You cap out that kind of progression very, very quickly on rows. Otherwise, you just kind of end up cheating. So dynamic double is the way to go. Again, dynamic double works if you control yourself. You need to keep your tempo straight. You need to accept you're not going to add weight every time. Or add reps every time. Just do the exercise well. Here's me recording from my phone in actually good lighting. And honest to God, I did not know my back looked this good when I'm doing it. I don't mean to brag, but this is amazing, and I'm so happy about it, bro. It looks great. It feels great. I feel it in the forearms, the biceps, the upper back, the lower traps, the upper traps, mid traps, rhomboids, lats, just everywhere where you can feel it so goddamn well, okay? Definitely need to bulk a bit more, but Jesus Christ, especially in the back, this is insane. Then again, back genetics are pretty blessed. I also didn't realize that my abs were that crazy. They are very good, generally good physique. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much.